loves. Welcome or welcome back to Chemistry with Kismet Tarot. I'm Monica, the Kismet Chemist. If you are new to my channel, welcome. Welcome to the family. I'm honored to have you here. If you are returning, welcome back. I have missed you. My loves, I am so excited about this collaboration. It originally was not intended to be a collaboration. And as soon as I set the energy, I was like, oh my gosh, there's another reader who has to be involved in this. So I reached out to Colleen and it was exactly perfect. She tapped into the energy right away. She felt the same thing I did. It was time to collab. So we are doing an as above, so below collaboration. And if you have been on this channel for a while, you know that as above, so below, and as within, so without is a common theme that runs through the collective here. This energy, though, was inspired by the first quarter moon that fell on the 22nd was the pinnacle of that first quarter moon phase. And it happened in Sagittarius at the 29th degree. Now, this is such an auspicious thing because the very next day on the 23rd, which is when you guys will be seeing this, the sun ingressed into Libra, marking Mabon, and the rebalancing energy between the sun and the moon. Now, all of that is so powerful in and of itself. But when the moon hits the 29th degree, we call that an anaretic degree. And oftentimes, if you do a lot of searching about the anaretic degree, you're going to find a lot of fear-based concepts, so to speak, about this energy. But for me, it is just an energy filled with magic and change and transition. It's filled with potential and release. So I'm going to be helping you harness the energy of that 29th degree so that you can really take hold of the magic that is contained within that degree, as well as the energy of the first quarter moon, which is really about meeting the universe, taking action towards whatever manifestation or whatever direction you have chosen for your life. And we have a first quarter moon every moon cycle. When we work with the first quarter moon in Sagittarius, however, now we have the energy of expansion because it is ruled by Jupiter. Jupiter being in Taurus is ruled by Venus. And Venus is currently, last I checked, in Virgo. Could still be in Leo, but I'm fairly certain she's in Virgo now. Either way, she's either being ruled by the sun or Mercury. And the energy here, it's all kind of coalesced together so that we have Venus and the sun and Mercury and Jupiter all flowing together, all working together. This is about expanding the beauty of ourselves, expanding the beauty of our own personal expression, expanding the artistry that is your unique self. When we harness the 29th energy, we have this ability to tap into a soul deep magic, expanding that throughout our entire being and moving forward with it. When we hit the 0 degree, we have this energy of a fresh beginning, of a new activation, of a new awakening energy. So Colleen, my love, from Spiritualistic, is going to be channeling what part of your soul is activated as she taps in and flows with the 0 degree or the degree of spirit. And I'm going to be tapping into the 29th degree. If you guys are coming from Colleen's reading, welcome. I'm honored. I'm so blessed. I'm so grateful to have you guys here. If you are here and watching me first, please make sure that you guys go and check out Colleen's. Her link will be in the description box below as well as in the comment section below. And I want you guys all to know how much I love and appreciate each and every one of you. And without further ado, we have 4 piles here. Each one has a moon phase. If you can't read the words, we have the new moon in Capricorn, a first quarter moon in Aries, a full moon in Scorpio, and a last quarter moon or third quarter moon in Cancer. I'm going to leave you guys here, put on some meditation music, let you guys get tapped in, allow yourselves to get into the flow of the energy, be guided to the message or messages that are calling to you, and I will see you at your piles. Hello, pile one. If you chose the first card, the new moon in Capricorn, this is your message about how you can harness the energy and the magic of the 29th degree. So you guys have the new moon in Capricorn and it says step up and lead. And as I was shuffling your cards and getting them ready, setting the intentions, there was a lot of structure that came in, especially for your pile. It was everything needs a step, a structure, and intention. Now, this new moon in Capricorn card says step up and lead. But you also got a super attractor card that flipped out, and normally I would put it back in the deck, but I couldn't quite do that. It was an energy that needed to be out. And it says, in stillness, I receive. So you have step up and lead, but you also have in stillness, I receive. And that can feel a lot like dualistic energy here. But when we think of the concept of stillness, sometimes we can think that means that we aren't doing anything at all. And the truth is that what we're doing is it's like not focusing on your exact manifestation. I'm going to be still and I'm going to receive. A lot of the time, my stillness is cleaning my house. It's taking a shower. It's spending time either straightening my hair or making it curly and doing the things that are just simple, seemingly mundane things. But as I go about doing these things, I am able to more easily receive messages, inspiration, and wisdom. When we're being called into an energy of stepping up and leading, we're being called to recognize that we're the creators of our existence. We're the creators of our life. We are the ones that make this world what it is for ourselves. We can get really caught up in the melee of what does it mean to lead and how do I lead and I have to do. And especially with Capricorn energy and a Capricorn moon, it's your soul thrives on structure, on steps, on motivation, on do this. That's how your soul really thrives. And when you're called to a state of stillness, sometimes it's about reevaluating how you view stillness, reevaluating how you view mundane things like cleaning the house or walking the dog or cooking a meal. Those are the moments where spirit is able to come in and whisper, and we aren't so dedicated and focused on hearing or seeing or experiencing that we're more easily able to do that. When I come to channel, I ask spirit to set Monica aside and create a clear vessel, create a clear channel, and allow for the messages to flow through. When we're doing these mundane things, we either can get in a state of worrying and anxiety, or we're just focused on the task at hand. And in doing that, in focusing on the task at hand, you are actually creating a clear channel to receive messages, wisdom, inspiration, guidance, love, nurturing, all of these things. And those are things that are absolutely crucial to being able to have that confidence to lead your life in the way that you feel called to lead. So pile one, the number one way for you to start harnessing this energy is not by constant dedicated work that involves your mind being so intensely focused on it, but in shifting gears, shifting perspectives, and allowing yourself to go about your day-to-day life and see what comes up, see what comes in, see what you can receive from this energy, from this state. Do the things that become very easy to put off when you're living a focused spiritual life. Do your laundry, sweep the floors, mop the floors, cook a meal. Don't overthink the things that you do, but lead your life in a way in which you're saying, you know what, even though I'm here for the collective, even though I'm here to do this or I'm here to do that, I also have this in my life. And if I'm not tending to this, then there's a part of me that I am negating. There's a part of me that I'm not allowing to have a say, to have a role. And so you're not moving forward into this leadership position in a whole way. You're partitioning yourself. So now is the time for you to step back, to get still, and to say, okay, I'm going to do this instead. Especially because there's an energy here of being kind of tangled up, it's almost like I know where I'm supposed to go, but I can't quite take that next step. I can't quite see the next step. And when you get in that state, you can either keep pushing through and try and push past why you can't see it and negate I can't see it, and try and just leap forward. Or you can say, what can I do? So this first card is going to give me a little bit more clarity on where you are on your journey. The second one is how this 29th magical energy, the anaretic degree of the moon, is calling to you right now. And then we're going to get some guidance for your next step forward, and then just advice for the right here present moment for you. So that is the intention that was set for all of the cards and the energies. And I want to say, first of all, thank you guys so much, because it was your energy that really got me more focused on it and got this significantly more structured. So thank you guys. So let's take a look at where you are right now. Okay, so we have the Two of Pentacles. You see how still she is, and she's holding the pentacles up, but the pentacles aren't actually touching her. She's just tapping into the energy, but she is still. A lot of the times when we are in this Two of Pentacles energy, we talk about balancing things or making a choice between one or the other. And a lot of the card depictions look like it's kind of chaos. It's kind of off kilter. And I do apologize if you guys can hear the sirens. I do have my windows open because it's a nice crisp fall morning. So this particular Two of Pentacles I love because she's in stillness, but she hasn't dropped any balls by being still. Everything is still flowing exactly as it's meant to. Everything is still exactly where it's at and where it's meant to be. Nothing is off kilter. Everything is balanced, but she knows that she needs to be in this state of receptivity. So this, if you feel as though to be still would be to drop the ball, your guides want you to know here that where you currently are is this recognition that nothing is falling, nothing has fallen. You're doing everything right. You're really doing it right. But sometimes you need to give yourself a little bit more credit. Sometimes you need to give yourself a little bit more leeway to say, okay, I'm going to sit down and I'm going to do this. I'm going to sit down and I'm going to create for the sake of enjoyment in the creation process. I'm going to sit and I'm going to meditate, and I'm not going to set the intention that I need this specific information to come through or this specific energy to come through, but I'm going to allow whatever needs to come through, because I know that when I sit and I'm still, or when I choose to settle my energy in the way that is right for me, I'm able to receive more clarity, more guidance, more peace. And that's where you're at right now, is learning that you can juggle everything in your life. You can have it all and nothing will crash down, but you have to give yourself the same amount of balance and harmony, the same peace, the same stillness mixed with action that you give to all of your different things that you have going on in your life, whether that's a family, a job, and like a creative project or endeavor. I wanted to say career. So that came through too. Whatever it is that feels like, well, I'm juggling too much, there's something within you that is ready to be released so that you have that free space. So let's take a look at how this moon is pulling to you. Okay, we have justice. Wow. Okay. Again, this is again another energy of balance. But you see, with justice here, there's no one sitting at the table. The scales are there, but there's no one sitting there. It's this recognition that spirit will balance things out. And when you start engaging in life, when you start leading, this energy is calling you to recognize that you're the one that holds the sword of justice in your life. You're the one that decides that this is what I need for balance. This is what I need for harmony. This is what I need for peace. This is what I need. When you move into this energy, this pull that's calling to you, this recognition that I'm going to define balance for myself. I'm going to define what justice and equality is for myself. I'm not going to let anyone in the outside world determine or dictate what it is that I consider balanced and harmonious energies. I'm going to do it for myself. So as you move into this energy, it's asking you to realize that one of the greater spiritual lessons is that we get in our own way. It's like a really nice way of saying that we're the ones that fuck shit up. It's a really nice, pretty way of saying that, because we're the ones that throw things off kilter. And we do that when fear gets in. We do that when anxiety takes hold. But anxiety lies and fear creates illusions. The truth is that if there are things that you desire in your life, those things, they're meant for you. So you can take your time. You can lead in the sense of, I'm going to give to myself and give to the collective. I'm going to do this for me and this for other people. And that is a balanced and harmonious place to be. So you are being called into an awareness that balance, harmony, justice, that these things are not dictated always by us. We define it for what it looks like in our present moment. But the grander scale of things, Spirit's got your back. Spirit is literally like right there, like, let me hold this, let me carry this, let me do this. Allow me to help you, because that will give you that leg up so you can step up and lead. But you have to be receptive to what it is that Spirit is trying to help you with. So I'm going to shift these up, and then we're going to take a look here at the guidance for your next step forward. And you guys actually got 2 cards instead of 1. I set the intention for 1 and 2 came out. And you guys are literally like, this is what is needed. This is the message that you guys need. And because of that, the cards are literally dictating this reading. And I am allowing them to do so, which in turn means Spirit is leading right now. And for you to step up and lead is for you to say, I'm going to walk hand in hand with Spirit, and I'm going to recognize that this is right for me. So advice for guidance for your next step forward. We have 2 major arcana cards. We have the Hanged Man and the Wheel of Fortune. Your next step forward is releasing control. This is going to be one of the hardest messages that I've had to give. We do not dictate when the wheel turns. We come to the table with Spirit and we say, this is what I've done. This is what I've accomplished. This is what I've released, this and this and this. We come to the table with these things, but it is not up to us for the wheel to turn. It is not up to us to dictate how things are going to come together when it is outside of our control. And when we want to control it, then we end up slowing the energy down. So Spirit right here with the Hanged Man and the Wheel of Fortune is saying you are in a point of a very valuable lesson in life, and that is releasing control of how everything is going to fall together in the outside world and letting things happen as they are meant to, because there is a greater scheme, a greater plan, a greater everything than what we are privy to witness. And this takes faith. This takes courage. This takes bare bones belief in these things, in Spirit, in what you cannot see or feel or touch, but in what your heart knows, your soul knows. Those things that your mind fights, but your heart is like, no, this is right. No, this is true. No, this is whatever. It's about listening to your heart. Sometimes we have to take that pause. Sometimes we have to have that shift of perspective. Sometimes we have to relinquish what control we perceive ourselves to have and say, okay, Spirit, take the wheel. Show me where to go, how to move. Help me here. And your guidance for your next step forward is sinking into the waiting game, sinking into the stillness, sinking into the mundane everyday tasks, and allowing for Spirit to come in and help shift things within your own energy field, but also within the world at large, so that things can happen and flow for you, so things can come in. And the frustration that comes with this is going to be understandable. So don't fight against it. Don't push it away or deflect or repress it. Let yourself feel that frustration. Let yourself sit down with Spirit and say, dude, this sucks. I don't like being on a pause. I don't like being held back. I don't like this. I'm supposed to step up and lead. How am I supposed to do that if I'm in a pause moment? If my next step forward is to wait, why am I being called to lead? How am I being called to lead? By waiting. The greatest lessons come in the most unexpected journeys. Sometimes part of that journey means changes and halts and holds. Sometimes we need those things because there's something bigger than what we can see. And it's really hard when you are in the thick of all of these changes and all of these things to be like, okay, yeah, I can release and relinquish this control, because we live in a world where everything is go, 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 where everything is, the grind or this or that. We live in a world where to be still is not acceptable. It's for you, pile one, to make it acceptable, to make it okay. Say, this is how I'm leading. I'm leading by waiting. I'm leading by pausing. I'm leading by holding myself back because I know that my perspective needs to shift because I'm going down a path that I don't want mentally and I am ready for it to change. It's okay for you to do that. So let's get some guidance or some advice for the present moment so that, I don't know, I'm just hoping that this is going to help you feel more comfortable. Yes, we have crystal ball with clarity and pendulum with decision. So the first thing that I want to address here is exactly what I was saying about this energy right here. You're being pulled to release control. You're being pulled to these things. The reason why you're being called into stillness as a point of stepping up and leading is because to make a decision that is going to dictate and determine how the wheel turns in your life, first you must have the utmost clarity. And if you have a crystal ball and you don't regularly clean it or cover it up, that crystal ball gathers dust, and the dust really clouds what could be there. Think of it like you're in an attic. The attic is inside your own mind. There is dust that has settled on certain things that would make the path clearer for you to harness, but the dust is there. If you make a decision based off of the dust, what you're making a decision on is something that is clouded. There's no clarity. So you're being asked to give your mind a good dusting. It's back to that mundane chores. Dust your house, clean your house, and see what happens with your own energy. Sometimes we don't realize that when we do things in the so below world, in this physical world, when we do things like throwing things away, cleaning our house, doing the dishes, making a meal, spending time disconnecting from what is quote unquote spiritual, and we choose to engage in things that are different, that people don't necessarily see as a spiritual part of your journey. My guides are like, give them a for instance. For instance, as I was preparing for doing this reading as a whole, I was putting together bar stools for my kitchen. They have been in pieces in my living room for almost a week now. And I've just been looking at them going, I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. It's tedious. It's a lot of work. It's annoying. I don't want to do it. And then this morning I was sitting in my old bar stool and it's got a hole in the seat. And I was like, okay, fine. I want to get the new ones up. I want to get this energy cleared. And so I did it. And it was frustrating at points because I couldn't get some of the screws to line up and I had to take a hammer out and just kind of beat metal into the right position and whatever. But when I finished, my energy felt better. My energy felt clearer, cleaner. It felt more aligned. I have a place to sit and work, or a place for my kids to sit while I'm cooking and talk to me and tell me about their day. And they can both sit there instead of them arguing over who gets the bar stool. Now we have two. Now they both can sit there. Something like that, you wouldn't think as being a spiritual step on your journey, but it is. What it meant to me is different. But those things, those mundane things, are correlatable to your inner world, your inner work. And we have, the High Priestess of Air with message. I'm actually going to pull all the rest. So we have the High Priestess of Air, we have message, we have prosperity. And then true manifestations are powered by service and love. If you don't love what you do, how do you expect for anything to come through, if you don't have a love and a passion for it. And I know that sounds cynical, or rather it sounds idealistic, because there are a lot of people that are out there doing jobs that they don't love, but it makes them money. And trust me, I understand that. But if you're looking for a prosperous life where you lead, where you get clarity, where your decisions are made and things flow exactly right, if you're looking for a prosperous life, especially for you, pile one, there is a calling to do things that are necessary for you to be able to lead into that manifestation, into that prosperity. And a lot of that has to do with you being open to receiving messages, you being open to being a channel for spirit. And there are so many people that are channels for spirit that don't do tarot readings or don't do spiritual teachings. My husband he's a vessel for spirit. And I know it because there are times where he looks at me and he says something and it's exactly what I'm thinking, but I didn't verbalize, but he says exactly what I need to hear in that exact moment. He works a job that pays the bills and doesn't necessarily know what his passion is. But we work together and flow together and all of that in a way that is still a physical manifestation of working with spirit. You have an energy here of being able to harness a very true blue, beautiful channeling ability, beautiful mediumship ability of being a messenger. But it takes having the utmost clarity on the decisions that you're making. And sometimes clarity means not being involved with other people, not having other people have a say. Sometimes it means just allowing for the world to dictate, allowing for the universe to take control and to show you. And that means pausing. It means holding back. It means saying, what can I do in this moment to be of service and to love myself and my family and my home and this and that, and just do those things, because that's when the messages come forth. That's when we start getting that clarity. So this moon phase is asking you to reevaluate what pausing would mean for you, what resting would mean for you, and how you are able to receive, where you find your clarity, how you make your decisions, and how much control you feel you need to have versus how much can you allow for spirit to bring forth to you so that you can more clearly see your value and your worth here in the world. Wow, pile one. This was an intense and beautiful message. I want to say thank you so much for being here. I want to say thank you to Colleen for this amazing collaboration. If you guys have not yet checked out her reading, please go to the link in the description box below. Check it out. Check her out. She is amazing. She is one of my soul sisters. I look at her like a little sister. I want to just wrap her in bubble wrap 90% of the time because I love her so much. I don't want anybody or anything to hurt her. And she's such a pure person. I love her so much. And so go and give her a lot of love too. And yeah, thank you to your guides, my guides, the Great Spirit. Thank you for this message, for this clarity, for this peace, for the wisdom. And thank you for telling it like it is through me. I appreciate every single moment I get to channel messages. Pile one, again, don't forget to go check out Colleen's reading. And down in the description box, there are also links to donate to my channel. You guys can also show your love to this channel by liking the video, commenting down in the comment section below, subscribing to the channel, sharing the video if you feel called. But I am sending you guys a huge energetic hug right now. And I'm going to leave you here. I will see you guys at my next reading. I love you all. Bye. Hello, pile two. If you chose the second card, the first quarter moon in Aries, this is your message about how you can harness the energy of the 29th degree. This is a lot of energy here for you guys. There's so much going on within your energy field. And there's a lot of challenge energy. But you chose the first quarter moon in Aries, and we are tapping into a lot of first quarter moon energy. First quarter moon in Sagittarius energy itself is an expansion within the self, an expansion from the soul, an expansion of magic, an expansion of power. It's okay. We had a flip over and I got distracted. This has happened twice in readings now where this ladybug has been flipped over. Okay. I'm just kind of letting that energy come in. Pile 2, are you feeling incredibly overwhelmed right now? Because this first quarter moon in Aries says, step into your power. And you also had a card that came out that says fulfillment. And it's the card number 20, which reduces to a 2. But 20 is, in my brain pan, always correlated with the energy of the judgment card and Plutonian energy. Pluto can be an incredibly, I want to say overpowering, but I heard the word invasive energy because Pluto wants us to change, to transform. But in order to do that, we have to recognize where we have been sacrificing, where we have been giving of ourselves and our power to others. And we have to be able to see the truth. Self-honesty is one of the hardest things to do. When you are being called to step into your power because your power equals your fulfillment, you have to be really honest with yourself. And I don't usually like making qualifying statements like you have to or you need to or things like that because everybody is different and we're all on our own path. But sometimes we literally have to face the truth. We have to look at, am I sacrificing in an area that I shouldn't be? Am I allowing someone else to have dominion over who I am, what I can do, what I'm here for, and what fulfillment actually means to me? When you're called to step into your power, when you're called to this energy, when this energy starts putting pressure on you, I don't even want to say calling. It feels like a pressurized energy of like everything in your life is pushing and pushing and pushing. And when everything outside of you is pushing at you and you feel like you're on the precipice of breaking, that's when it's time to say, why am I allowing this energy to impact me? Why is this energy really having its way with me? Where am I sacrificing? Where am I giving of myself? Where am I saying that this person, this entity, this energy knows more than what I know of myself? And I want to be very clear. This isn't about when spirit comes in and works with us, because spirit doesn't come in and pressure us in a negative way. I will never, ever, ever take that stance. That is not my truth. That is not my experience. Yes, there can be times where we're called to shift and change, but we are being called to that. We're not being forced into it. Spirit does not force us because spirit wants us to co-create with. Your energy pile 2 is one that there has been a lot of outside energy just pushing. And it's not it doesn't feel like it's in a good way. Sometimes we get pushed in a kind of competitive, this person, that person way, where it's like you're building yourself, but you're also helping another build themselves and they're building themselves, but also helping you build. So there's a sort of competitive teamwork energy. This is not the energy I'm picking up from you. This feels uncomfortable. It feels like being backed into a corner, like a feral cat backed into a corner. You don't really know what to do, but you know you're going to fight your way out if you have to. That's what I'm feeling. And with the ladybug flipped upside down, that to me is always a spiritual sign of a feeling of bad luck, a feeling of Murphy's Law, so to speak. What can go wrong will go wrong. And I did a spiritual talk about Murphy's Law, and I created, quote unquote, Monica's Law, where what can go right will go right. There was more to it. I have it somewhere. Oh, it's what can go wrong will go right, and what can go right will go better. And it's literally sending out the energy to the universe that you know that Murphy's Law may exist, but screw Murphy's Law. I'm going to say that no matter what could end up falling apart, it's not going to. It's going to go how it's meant to go. Exactly right. And all the things that could go right that I can fathom in my visions and my manifestations, those things are going to go so much better. That's what it means to step into your power and to step into an energy of fulfillment. That is what it means to hear the judgment call and to rise and to meet it, to say, this is who I am and this is what I believe. I'm going to have my ultimate fulfillment. I'm going to have my ultimate joy. I'm going to have my ultimate love, and I'm going to step into my power. And I'm going to be the kind of person that steps into my power, and I'm not going to use it to hurt others. I'm not going to use it to beat others down the way that I feel beat down. No, I'm going to show people, I'm going to show this world, I'm going to show all of those energies that are pushing and pushing and pushing at me and creating all this pressure and creating all this tension. I'm going to show them what it means to have true spiritual power in this world and how to adequately and accurately use it in order to help myself and to help others, because that's what we're supposed to do in this world. And that's what real fulfillment means. And piled two, that's why the ladybug can be flipped upside down. That's why you can see that you have nothing but good luck. So if things feel like they're going wrong, trust me when I say that right when things feel like they're going the most wrong is when everything turns around, when everything starts flowing in a different direction and you go, I didn't really think about that. But that actually works way better. That actually looks way better. That actually flows way better. And when you step into that energy, now you're in your power because you recognize that the universe is always on your side. It always has your back. That is the energy that you're able to harness now. This knowingness of everything is exactly like it's meant to be. So you guys, or you energies, can go ahead and push and push and push all you want, but I'm stepping out. I'm stepping out of the melee. I am stepping out of the chaos, and I am stepping into my power because I deserve and am worthy of true fulfillment. Wow, that message. Wow, pile two, that message. Holy beats. Okay, so we have 3 tarot cards out. This first one is about where you're at on your journey right now. This is about how this 29th anaretic magical energy is calling to you right now. This is guidance to take your next step forward. And I imagine it's taking your next step into your personal power. And then we have these oracle cards that we're going to finish up with. And this is advice for your present moment, for the right now present moment. So let's take a look first at where you are. We have the Page of Pentacles. This is that dreamy, I know that I'm going to have this and I'm going to dream it into existence. And this is the energy that everybody says, you're so naive. Who do you think you are? You are so naive. You're in this energy of, I'm going to harness magic. I'm going to work real magic. You're going to witness real magic because I have it within me to harness. And the rest of the world can say whatever they want, but look at you. Look at you standing in your power. Look at you standing in your magic. You are weaving and creating magic, real magic in this world. And other people get really put off by that because, well, where's my magic? How do I harness this magic? Why are you holding it all for yourself? Or you have the opposite end of, that wasn't magic. That was just coincidence. You don't actually exist, or magic doesn't exist. Spirit doesn't exist. This isn't real. That isn't real. When you walk around and you know that you just saw a fairy just flit by in the corner of your eye and you just know it. People could call you crazy. They could call you naive. They could call you childish, or you could say, you know what? I don't care what you call me because it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter to me what you call me because I know without a doubt that It doesn't matter if my dream and my vision is in its early stages. It doesn't matter if you see me as childish. It doesn't matter, because when we are in a childlike energy, when we are dreaming up a reality into existence from a childlike energy, there is a purity and innocence and a truth buried within that energy that comes to light. And that is that we have the ultimate say. We work and co-create with this universe, but it is up to us to take those directed actions. Spirit can't always just step in and be like, okay, you need to back off, you need to back off, you need to back off. No, karma comes in the way that it comes in, of course. But Spirit doesn't physically manifest in order to punch out the people that are being jerks. Spirit does, however, teach us what it is that we need to know to rise above, to move beyond, to step into our power, to own our ultimate fulfillment, and to say, this is what's right for me, and you don't have to be a part of my life for this. You don't have to be a part of my journey. My journey is my own. And because my journey is my own, I can stand here and say, I know what my power is, and my power is magic. So let's see how this energy is calling to you. Temperance. It's calling to you to step into your ultimate energy, your ultimate magician, your ultimate alchemist. This is an energy that is calling to you to recognize that calm, clear, concise words will bring about exactly the change you're seeking. That is a direct message. Calm, clear, concise words will bring about exactly the change. And now it's gone. Exactly the change that you're seeking. The Temperance card is about taking two things that shouldn't go together, putting them together and creating abundance, creating magic, creating things like the Philosopher's Stone or things like gold. It's creating eternal existence. So what you're now being called into is a state of alchemy where you're going to be called to combine elements within yourself and in the outside world to make a sort of magic that will be infinite. This kind of power is not for everyone. It is not given to everyone. It is not open to everyone. And for those that it is and that it does, it's because you understand the value as well as the downfall of true power, true magic. This is about you recognizing through experiential wisdom how magic can harm, how power can be lorded over others and can be used in order to feed fear and fuel the flames of anxiety, of dominion, of subjugation. You know how it can be misused. And because you have experienced the misuse, you will not misuse it. And this calling is asking you to trust that within yourself, to trust that you will not misuse the power that is gifted to you, the magic that is awakening within you and expanding within you. Wow. Okay. I want to see your guidance for the next step forward. Pick a path, choose a cup. But more than that, this Seven of Cups energy right here, your guidance for moving forward is recognizing that it doesn't matter whether you pick cup A or B, path A or B. It doesn't matter because A and B are the same because you're capable of blending them together. So this is about taking and looking at all of the pieces of the puzzle that you have and creating a new puzzle, saying, you know what? This piece fits here and this piece fits here. And while other people may think that these pieces are supposed to go in this way, I'm choosing to see a different direction. I'm choosing to see a different vision, a different puzzle, a different picture. I'm blending these things together because I'm welcoming in this energy and I'm taking my power and I'm saying, I have all of this power. I'm going to take only the pieces that I need and put the rest up on the shelf and leave it there. Because I have a journey, I have a mission, I have a purpose, and I know that I'm ultimately seeking my true fulfillment. So I'm going to take all the pieces, create them from what I need to create, and move forward from there. And I'm going to do this in a way that maybe other people are going to say, you can't do that. But who are they to say that? Do they know you and your soul and your path and your purpose? Do they know the interactions between you and spirit? Do they know those personal, deep, primal, instinctual wisdoms that you have within you, coded in your DNA, coded in everything that you have, everything that you are? Do they know that? If you can't answer yes with a definitive, automatic, yes, they do, then the answer is no. Which means that you're the one that determines where your power lies, how to harness it, how to use it, and in what way you can use it with other elements to combine and create. Your fulfillment is in your hands, pile 2. It's within your very hands. Your next step forward is recognizing that it doesn't matter what cups are on the shelf. It matters that each cup holds one piece of what you contain within yourself already. There's ultimate potential. Potential, however, has to be harnessed. And that is your next step, is recognizing all of the potential and making the choice to harness it, stepping into your power, taking that directed action to meet the universe and say, hey, I know my potential. I'm going to fulfill it. So let's see what your advice for the present moment is. I am so invested in this energy pile 2. I am so invested in this. Oh my God. Look at this. Astrology with destiny and phrenology with certainty. Once you step into your power, once you say, okay, absolutely, without a doubt, you move with absolute certainty into what is destined for you. And there is not a single soul on earth that can stop what is destined for you from coming in once you open yourself to that destiny. There are some things in our lives that are preordained. There are some things in our lives that have been predetermined to exist because we contract to experience them. And in this case, this is about you moving with certainty, because once you move with certainty, you start a contractual expansion within your soul that has a clause of a destined opening. What that means to each and every one of you is going to be different. And I cannot discern that because I am not you. You are not me. We may be connected, but there is something unique about your energy in which you're the unlock. You're the key. You're the key and the lock. You contain both and you contain neither. They don't exist and they do exist. It is what it is. Your destiny awaits you. There is a certainty awakening within you, expanding within you. So move forward with certainty into your power, into your alchemy, into this magician energy. You're not naive for what you know. You're not naive for the things that you have experienced that you know that you did. You know, I did this and then this happened. I did this and then this happened. There is a correlation. It doesn't matter if the rest of the world doesn't know. You know it, and hold that certainty within yourself, because that is your destined power. There is literally like a charmed energy, like the power of 3 here, where they were always destined to have their gifts awakened. You were always destined to move forward on this particular path, whatever it is. And it might not even be one of woo-woo occult science or anything like that. It might actually be like, hey, I'm working at a bookstore. This feels exactly like what I'm supposed to do, where I'm supposed to be, who I'm supposed to be around. All of it feels absolutely destined, and watch your life just utterly, radically change. This isn't about having to hold that power in a state of, I have to be a spiritual warrior for the rest of the world. No, this is about you and your journey. Every part of it matters. We have wishing, justice, and dreams. And finally, my greatest spiritual shifts don't come through force. They come through freedom. What was I saying? You can't push your way past the tension and the energy. It's not about pushing your way past. It's not about forcing yourself against the energies that are trying to force you somewhere. It's about you saying, this is my power, and I'm going to move in a state of freedom. Now, with the wishing, the justice, and the dreams, this is about that energy. When I look at the wishes card, I think about this Page of Pentacles card too. There's this energy of flipping a coin into a well, or into like, it's like a water spout. I don't know what the name of it is. Spirit, can you help me out? It's like a water fountain. There it is, a water fountain. Tossing a coin into a well, or tossing a coin into a water fountain, and asking for things to be rebalanced, asking for yourself to awaken, for you to remember what you dreamed about, for you to remember what it is that you came here for you to remember what your destiny is, for that balance to come back into your life, for that ultimate force to come in and say, this is actually what is right for you. So I'm going to take care of it. That justice energy, that's what I said. That is why I said, spirit isn't going to manifest physically, but karma will work its way out. So now is the time for you to realize that I'm going to allow myself the freedom of letting justice have its way with this situation and this energy. And I'm going to put my energy into being in my own personal power of wishing my dream world into existence, and trusting that this is going to work, trusting in the freedom that comes from being me and seeing my ultimate fulfillment and seeing my ultimate potential and seeing my ultimate magic and creating from this place. This is what you can do right here and right now. Let spirit handle spirit stuff. You take that step forward into saying, this is what I'm dreaming of. This is what I'm wishing for. This is what I'm weaving my magic for. And I know I can have it. I have this absolute certainty that it is destined for me. So I'm going to move forward in that way. I'm not going to force this energy or that person or this or that to believe anything, because I have enough faith in and of myself to move myself forward. And that is where you find your freedom. That is where you step into your power. And that is where you start your path of fulfillment. This is the expansion that you have for you. Freedom, dreams, fulfillment, certainty of your destiny, and a true blue magic that no one can refute because you know it irrefutably. Okay, wow. Pile 2. You guys want to be friends? Because this is pretty cool. I love this energy. Thank you guys so much for being here, for the energy that you bring to my channel. Thank you so much. This has been just amazing. I think I might be fangirling a little bit by your energy. I also want to say thank you so much to Colleen for doing this amazing, incredible, powerful collaboration for the collective, and for being my friend and for everything. Just, she's awesome. Go check out her reading if you haven't already. She's over at Spiritualistic. The link to that is in the description box. So make sure that you give her a lot of love. And if you're from her channel, welcome. Thank you guys. I love you guys. Thank you. Thank you. I want to say thank you to your guides, my guides, the Great Spirit, for facilitating the connection between our energies and for really flowing these messages with such assurance today. The definitive nature of these messages has made me feel so incredibly, profoundly blessed. And I hope that that translates in this message. So thank you so much. Pile 2, if this resonated, please feel free to like this video, comment in the comment section below, do those YouTubey things. You guys subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Welcome yourself to the family and feel the love and all of the welcomeness that is, this growing channel. So thank you guys. And again, make sure you guys check out Colleen. I love you guys. I'll see you at my next reading. Bye. Hello, pile 3. If you chose the third card, the full moon in Scorpio, this is your message about how you can harness the energy of the 29th degree and take action in your chosen direction. So I want to actually start off with mentioning Colleen from Spiritualistic and her reading for what is activating within your soul. If you guys haven't checked her reading out, make sure that you do that either before or after this pile. Yours is the first pile that I felt like I needed to mention hers in the very beginning, even though I mentioned it in the intro and, it's flowing the same way that all collabs do. There is an energy here that this may be the other part of the story. So it depends on how you want to approach it. And I have the feeling as well that this story can go either way, which is quite curious. So this full moon in Scorpio says, breathe through the tension. And when we get a full moon in Scorpio, that means that we are in Taurus season. Taurus season happens between April and May in the calendar year. And the last full moon in Scorpio that we had in May, I do believe it was an eclipse. So we've been in a Taurus and Scorpio eclipse. Scorpio also was home to the South Node for 18 months. And it just recently, as of, I believe it was July 12th, moved out of Scorpio and into Libra. Now, the reason why I'm mentioning all of this is because this card says breathe through the tension. And then you had a signifier card that actually popped out to add to this energy of the warrior in card number 2. So the first thing that's coming through pile 3 is it's an energy of laying down your sword. It's an energy of recognizing when the battle is better to be abandoned rather than fought. With breathe through the tension, when we have a full moon in Scorpio and Scorpio ruling the 8th house, we have this bright illumination about how we view things that are seen and unseen. The 8th house rules both the things that we believe are staples of this existence, sex, death, taxes. But it also is the ruler of the occult, of magic, of mystery. Holding those two as opposites creates a lot of tension because we don't think of the occult as guarantees of this life. It's been a long time, over many, many centuries, through many bloody conquests, where occult wisdom and occult practices were slowly painted in the wrong light. They were painted as dark, as evil, as fantasy and fairy tales, as mythological occurrences that are relegated to storybooks and not real. And then you have sex, death, and taxes, which are, what we expect in this day and age to be the most steadfast things in the world. Everybody lives, everybody dies. Everybody has hormones that make them want to procreate, we'll say. And every governmental entity has the desire to tax their people in order to pay for said governmental entity. We think of these things as constants, and yet Some of these things we want to fight against. God, we want to fight against them so hard. And while the idea or the ideation of fighting against these seeming constants is a noble thing, sometimes the warrior energy is better to be utilized in a different way. That's why the energy of, or the message of putting down your swords came through quite quickly. This is an energy right now with the climate, not just in the world, but the astrological, the cosmetological climate in the stars. It's asking you to make a change, to take a deep breath. You know, when we get tense, when things get stressful, we lock up. And here's the part where I talk about fight or flight. Yes, there are other ways in which this can present itself. I have heard plenty about fight, flight, freeze, fawn, whatever. This is about fight or flight. This is about running away, or the prospect of running away and the prospect of fighting. And if you guys give me just a moment, it just started downpouring and my dogs are outside. I'm going to go let them in and then we'll get back into this. Okay, pile 3, I am back. I want to say thank you so much for your patience. That actually, I always think about everything that occurs during a reading as being part of the reading. So there's a meaning behind me needing to pause and let my dogs in. Okay, so when I sat down and I was getting prepped, opening myself up to the energy, Willow, my dog, if you don't know who Willow is, if you're new to the channel, I have a bunch of shorts that have her in it. She is a little husky, corgi, German shepherd mix. And she has all the attitude of a husky, all of it, crammed inside a miniature corgi that looks like a German shepherd husky. She's perfect. I'm not gonna lie. She's exactly what I needed and wanted in my life, and I am so wrapped around her tiny little paw that it's outrageous. But when I was getting prepared for this reading, she laid on the floor and she got her husky talk on with me. It's literally like rah, 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 rah. And she just like yelled at me because she wanted to go outside. She wanted to go, she wanted to play. And I looked outside and the sky was dark and I knew it was going to rain. I'd been getting notifications from the Weather Channel, but I also knew that if I didn't let her out in that moment, it was going to be a battle. Was it a battle that I wanted to fight? Or did I want to just say, okay, you know what? If this is what you want, I'm going to let you do that. And I did. And so when it started raining and I brought her back inside, she was just fine. She got out, she went to the bathroom, she ran around, she had her fun. And then she realized, I don't want to be wet because if I get wet, that means mom has to give me a bath and I'm not going to do that. Where I'm at right now, North Dakota, fall is here. And today is like officially the first day of fall weather. And so you can see, if you can see the overcast skies, but our falls usually have some overcast skies. There's a feeling in the air when it's going to rain. It's almost as though you can see the wet before the wet starts, before the rain starts. You can just see it. And it's this knowingness of what is to come. Now, the reason why this matters for you is because we were talking about fight or flight and putting down your swords. When we put down our swords, when we choose neither fight nor flight, but we choose to stop, to pause. We're not freezing. We're not becoming the victim. We are pausing and observing. We will see what is to come because the energy is set ahead of us. But when we have our swords up and we are charging forward, whether we are running away from something or whether we are running at something, we aren't able to see what energy is being set. So we can't be fully prepared. This moon phase right now, one of the number one ways that you can harness this is by pausing and observing how it is setting energy for you to move forward. When you pause and you put those swords down and you breathe through the tension and you realize my warrior energy is so active right now, but is my warrior being directed at something purposeful, something meaningful, something that I am willing to lay my life down on? Am I willing to die on this hill as the warrior? Or am I just fighting to fight? Am I running to run? What am I doing? Breathe. Breathe, pile 3. Take a deep breath in and out. Go. Breathe and let the tension become fluid. Let it flow from you. As you breathe in, you can breathe in calm and peace. And as you breathe out, you can breathe out relaxation. Breathe out the knot of tension. It's not a Gordian knot, which means that there is a way to untie it. There is a way to undo the knot. There is a way to release yourself from the tension. Breathe. Give yourself the grace to pause, to take a breath, to observe, and to see this energy get set. Now, this first card signifies where you're at in your journey. This one is how this energy, this 29th anaretic degree energy is calling to you. How is it expanding you? And this one right here is guidance on your next step forward. And then we have some oracle cards over here for advice for this present moment. So let's take a look at where you're at. The Queen of Pentacles. Oh, okay. I just heard reverse. So your guides asked me to put the Queen of Pentacles in reverse. And I don't normally read reversals because I pull the card and I just let the energy flow through. But when there's a message that is so clear cut that this needs to be in reverse, then I have to honor that. Now, the reason why they're saying this is in reverse is because there is a need right now for you to recognize where you are not nurturing yourself. You are not grounded enough to nurture yourself. All that tension, all of that fight nature that you have right now, it can be better. It could be better channeled into calming yourself down, into nurturing yourself. The Queen of Pentacles is known as the mothering energy, where the Empress is the fertile, creative energy. The Queen of Pentacles to me is always that softer, mothering energy. She knows that to grow something, to build something, to create something, to nurture something, there must be love, there must be patience, there must be moments of mindful breathing. There must be those times where you take a step back and you let things do what they need to do. When you're planting a garden, if you're out there and you're mixing up the soil and you're watering and you're patting things down, and then you're any tiny little sign of a weed or just any kind of sprout and you assume it's a weed and you're pulling stuff out, you're actually stifling the growth of the garden because you're nitpicking. And I wouldn't normally say that word, but that word came through really strongly, and it came through in a very grandmotherly way. It's nitpicking. We can't nitpick all of the things. Perfectionism is an illusion. Now, hear me out. We want to be perfect, but perfect doesn't exist. And that's the beauty of this world. That is the grace of being able to make mistakes, of making changes, of choosing a different path, of making different choices in life. We can be the worst person ever and choose differently one point in our life and radically change everything in our life. We can't undo what came before, but we can radically change what we do moving forward. So if you're someone that tends to a garden, so to speak, and you want this garden to have exactly the right coloration. You want everything to blossom at the same time. You want that look of beautiful rainbow colors and butterflies and bumblebees flitting back and forth. And, like that Better Homes and Gardens prize winning garden. That's what you're aiming at. The more that you try to perfect it, the further away you get from that actually being a thing. Now, you can apply this concept to just about anything in your life. You can take this concept and apply it to health, wellness, mindfulness, your working life, your social life, your relationships, your journey into spirituality, your communion with yourself, your self-healing, literally anything. I used to be the person that I would sit down every night with tarot and oracle cards and a journal and prompts and everything, and I would break myself into pieces just so I could put it back together, just so I could understand each minute detail of every single piece. Why? Because I have a perfectionist tendency, and I feel like if I do any kind of healing and I have to go through a journey where I'm healing the same thing that I felt like I already healed, I did not do it well enough. And if I just break myself down into enough pieces, I can do it better. And then I stopped doing that. I stopped doing that because I started hearing myself. I would tell my husband over and over and over again, I'm so exhausted from breaking myself down and having to put the pieces back together. I'm so exhausted from this. And I wasn't hearing myself say it. I was literally not nurturing myself in the ways that I needed to be nurtured. But then I would complain about not being nurtured the way I needed to be nurtured. And I wasn't hearing myself. I needed to stop with the fighting, needed to put my own swords down and listen. Whatever it is in your life right now, whatever area in which this nitpicky perfectionist tendency is coming forth, what you're being asked during this time to allow for expansion of is a nurturance. The best warrior is the one that moves from the heart, the one that knows a hug is more potent and more powerful than swinging a sword. That the best battles that are fought and won are those that come from true love and passion and not a desire for breaking something or someone or running from the brokenness so you don't have to look at it. What you need right now, what your energy is saying is nurture, love, gentleness. So let's find out how this 29th energy is calling for expansion. Oh, you guys have two cards. Wow. Okay. Aha. We have the Two of Swords. Good Lord. And the Knight of Pentacles. I say good Lord because literally the Two of Swords is what I've been saying. Look at her. She is doing battle with two birds of prey. She's blindfolded. But what if these birds of prey are there to bring her a message, to help her with her decision? And then you have the Knight of Pentacles. Anything that is worth anything, or everything that is worth anything, is something that we are willing to be patient on. So if it feels like you need to make a decision, if it feels like you are locked up, put down the swords and let the clock tick. That's a very interesting energy to come from these cards. Birds of prey never, ever, ever go after just nothing. They don't dive and come up with a stick. They dive and come up with their prey. They soar high up in the sky, higher than we can, and they see with laser sharp vision enough to be able to see a mouse on the ground in tall grass that blends in. And when they see it, when they plot the course, then they know I'm ready to dive. And if you have ever heard of the peregrine falcon, they can literally dive, I think it's 200 kilometers or miles per hour to get their prey. A bird of prey does not engage in battle if it's not necessary. They know what they need to do. And they're not standoffish creatures. One of my current spirit animal guides is the golden eagle. A golden eagle is seen as such a fierce warrior bird. Except for the most part, they like to sit on their perch and they sleep and they nap throughout the day, or they'll sit on their nest, on their eggs, and they sit and nap and they observe. Sometimes they fly around, but they don't engage in battle or engage other animals unless their territory is threatened or they're hungry and they need to feed themselves. Otherwise, they are perfectly content being pseudo-introverted birds and doing what they need to do for themselves. They don't ask questions about, well, what about this and that? They do that because they spend the first 4 to 5 years of their life wandering, adventuring, experiencing until they get to a point where they're like, okay, I have my territory, I have my family, I'm ready. This is all I need. When you figure out this is all I need, like that portion of your life, that's when you can expand further. So this is about taking a slower approach, stepping back and being the golden eagle in the branch, observing, soar around, but take yourself out of the melee and realize that everything comes in time. It's just like the garden analogy. Your flowers will grow and they will bloom as they are meant to, when they are meant to, how they are meant to. When you set that intention that this is what I am growing, this is what I'm planting, and this is what I'm going to tend to it, but also remember that it is a reflection of how much you're tending to yourself. So if you're spending so much time in the garden, it reflects the fact that you're not spending enough time with yourself. If you are equalizing that energy, you both are going to see greater growth. The energy right now that is helping you expand is an energy of choosing not to get into the foray, but rather to allow for a balance of time and energy to come forth. So let's get your guidance for your next step forward. 9 of Wands. Now we have the warrior and we have the 9 of Wands. Your next step forward is recognizing everything that has come before. Look at all that you have conquered, that you have overcome. So when you feel like you have been beat down by the world, when you feel like you have been beat down by spirit, beat down by the universe, beat down by other people, beat down by circumstances and situations and events, and that tension is building and building and building, and you feel like you've got this heavy, weighted Gordian knot on your chest and you can't do anything, remember how far you have come. Remember how much you have navigated your way through. Remember how to breathe. Remember that within you is a warrior spirit. Remember that you have the strength and the resilience and the capability of continuing to move forward in the way that is right for you, in the time that is right for you, no matter what anyone else in the outside world says. And remember that you have 9 wands. That is 9 fire sticks of energy, 9 inspirational ideas, notions, ideations, experiences. You have 9 of them tucked into your belt. 9. That is so much more than most other people. And in Chaldean numerology, that is the number of the divine. So you have divine inspiration tucked into your belt. And you have overcome so much on this journey already. You may end up in a wounded warrior energy, but moving forward, own that energy. Own that energy. Own the imperfections of what it means to be wounded. Own it. Stand tall in it. That is why I come to this channel, and that is why I talk about Ehlers-Danlos, because that's my wounded warrior energy. I fought and fought and fought against doctors for 14 freaking years, 14 years telling them that they were wrong. 14 years of being told I was a drug seeker, I was crazy, I was making shit up, I was hypochondriac, or just that everything that's going on with me is idiopathic and there's no logical, reasonable explanation, but it's still there. 14 years of that I experienced. Over 10 surgeries and major surgeries at that. I have been pieced out, is how I like to say it, for my surgeries, because they've taken out so many organs that the only ones that are left are my spleen, which I genuinely don't think I could live without because I already have a shoddy immune system and they've already taken my tonsils, one of my lungs and one of my kidneys. Other than that, you start taking out any more body parts and there's nothing left to make my body function. That's how many body parts I've had removed. 14 years of that. My wounded warrior energy has a hard time looking at all of that in the midst of an Ehlers-Danlos flare. Why? Because a normal person can step on a dog's treat bone and be fine. It's like a discomfort for them. Me, I stepped on it. I rolled my ankle. I fell to the floor and now one of my knees is bruised throughout. Almost half the knee cap is bruised because I fell down. That ankle that rolled has a pin in it because I stepped wrong off a stair and tore ligaments and tendons, multiple, shredded, as the doctor said. That's my wounded warrior energy. But you know what? I've overcome so much and it brought me here. And I'm not saying this to diminish what you're going through. Please don't do that. Please do not think, oh, well, what I'm going through is nothing compared to that. So no, what you're going through, whatever you're experiencing, whatever your wounded warrior energy is, it makes you you. It is important. It is tantamount to your existence right now. And remembering that it is important means that you'll take that time to look at all that you've overcome to get yourself here. The next step is realizing just how strong you actually are in the midst of what the energy is saying or what the experience is saying. You have more power within you than you think you do to overcome, to move beyond, to heal. It doesn't always have to be a battle, even though it feels like it. So let's get your advice for the moment right now. We have fate and sensitivity. For those of you who resonate with being an empath is not an easy thing. If you don't genuinely feel as though being an empath resonates with you, please don't try to make it fit. Please, please, please don't try to make it fit. Because I'm telling you, as an empath myself, it's not easy. It's not fun. A lot of the time, it's not fun. It gets glamorized a lot. But when you feel all the feels, and I do mean all the feels, when you feel all the feels, sometimes it can be crazy making. Sometimes it can leave you in a state of like, what the fuck is going on? But it is as much a blessing as it is a curse. Certain events that we go through, fated events, they happen because part of our soul has chosen to experience life in a more tangible way. And a lot of that tangibility comes through emotions. As a medical empath, at times, I can tell you that that level of sensitivity can be very, very difficult. You walked a path, you chose a direction, and it elevated and expanded your sensitivity. You can throw your hands up in the air and lament that, or you can say, I recognize that I was an equal player on the playing field of fate, and I choose to use the sensitivity to move myself forward in the way in which I'm meant to, because the wounded warrior is one of the most sensitive energies and archetypes to embody. We have the fledgling, trust, and well-being. Every new beginning, we feel out of our depths. We feel too young, too inexperienced. But even when you're growing a garden for the first time, you can feel like a baby. You can feel like, I just need some guidance. I just don't really know. But every fledgling is tapped because of their uniqueness, their individuality, a calling from within, a down to the genetics calling. It can be hard to trust that you can be healthy and whole and healed and in the right environment. And all of that because your fated path has led you through these events that have hypersensitized you to the rest of the world. So the concept and the ideation of trust in that, and trust in your well-being and your well-being being watched out for, that's a hard thing to do. But your guides are literally giving you advice right now to trust that you may be on a new journey, but this journey that you're on is one that is meant for your greatest growth, for your well-being, your mind, your body, your soul, your genuine well-being. This is why breathing through the tension helps undo that knot, because it is not a Gordian knot. It is not stuck in what it is. It is possible for you to release it by breathing, by taking care of yourself, by nurturing yourself, just like you would nurture a fledgling, just like you would nurture someone younger than you, just like you would take care of a child. Nurture yourself in that mothering and fathering energy that you may not have gotten, but that you know that this is what I needed, so give it to yourself. So let's get your 2 final cards. These are super attractor cards, so you can use these to help with manifestation and moving forward. So I can decide today to recalibrate my energy and commit to love and joy. And finally, true manifestations are powered by service and love. This expansion energy, this moment here is for you to allow for that recalibration, allow for your energy to be overhauled, to change, allow for your sensitivity to be fine-tuned to an energy of love, to an energy of joy, so that when you move forward in this 9 of Wands energy, you're not moving forward with a battle mindset. You're moving forward with a mindset of service and love and power of the heart. This energy, this 29th energy, is awakening a deep, deep magic that comes directly from your heart, pile 3. And if no one has told you today, I am proud of you, I love you, and I believe in you. All right, pile 3. This has been incredible. I want to say thank you so much for being here. Thank you to your guides, my guides, the Great Spirit, for facilitating the connection between our energies. And I also want to say thank you so much to Colleen from Spiritualistic for this collaboration, for the energies, for the connection, and just the majesty of this moment. Thank you so much. Pile 3, if this resonated, please feel free to like this video, comment in the comment section below. I would love to hear your feedback. Don't forget to check the description box for the links to Colleen's reading, as well as links to donate to my channel. And make sure that you guys are subscribed so you don't miss any of my upcoming readings. I love you guys all, and I will see you at my next one. Bye. Hello, pile 4. If you chose the 4th card, the last quarter moon or 3rd quarter moon in Cancer, this is your message about how you can harness the magic of the 29th degree, the anaretic degree, as well as what is expanding within your soul. So this last quarter moon in Cancer card says, take a breather. And as I was shuffling your cards, since the very first pile, one card in the oracles has flipped up, wanting to be seen. Yours is scrying mirror projection. Now, before we start getting deep dived into the channeling, I'm going to tell you guys what the significations of the cards are. And we'll, of course, go over it again as I'm doing the reading. But there is an energy here of making sure that you know what is coming. So the first tarot card we have here, this is where you're currently at in your journey. The second placement is how this aneretic magical energy is calling to you. The third is guidance for your next step forward. And then we're going to get into the oracle cards for advice for your present moment. Now, your energy is quite different. To begin with, your guides want me to start with where you're at energetically and then channel and then get into the other cards. So let's take a look. Okay, we have the Queen of Wands. That explains a lot. Pile 4, are you closing out a cycle? Or did you close the cycle out recently? One that involved enduring other people's projections. Now, that feels like an almost latent old energy for you within your energy field that I'm reading right now. With this Take a Breather card in the last quarter moon in Cancer, the last quarter moon in Cancer is actually coming up in October. I do believe it'll hit. It could be into, no, it should be in October because it'll be during Libra season. The last quarter moon in Cancer comes after a full moon in Aries. Okay. I'm trying to navigate how to explain what I'm feeling here. I'm getting a cut through energy, as in, yeah, I could tell you about the moon phases and this and that, but let's cut directly through. We want to talk about your personal power, what it means to take a breather, what this scrying mirror and projection really mean to your energy right now. Because there is an energy of personal power expanding within you, and it's a personal power within your divine feminine energy. With the scrying mirror, we can look at projections as what other people place upon us. That is the number one thing that everybody is going to say. However, there's also a kind of Virgo energy here of you being the actual scrying mirror, energetically speaking. The reason why I say Virgo is because I always look at Virgo energy as being the great projection or the great mirror of the zodiac. This is the place in our charts or within the collective where we see what we are, who we are, and we can't really shy away from that. So pile 4, the first thing that is coming through as far as that goes is that you have learned how to energetically be a mirror. So you're showing everybody the truth of themselves. Good, bad, ugly, all of it. And in doing so, you're actually, it's like I'm seeing an image from Honey, I Shrunk the Kids with the magnifying glass and now I'm seeing someone using a magnifying glass on ants and how you can take that and turn the sun into like a laser beam and burn ants. And you used to be the ant, but now you hold the magnifying glass, and instead of making it laser focused on one thing, you're shining a light through this that is actually illuminating all. You're giving light rather than breaking something down or hurting something. You're using what was once used against you to shine in an oppositional way, in a more beneficial way, not just for yourself, but for others. It's taking the tools of trauma and creating healing with them. You know, we think of a screwdriver as it's just a screwdriver. It's just going to screw in a screw to something or put two things together and screw them together so that they're fixed to each other. But you're looking at the screwdriver and you're saying, what if this was actually a hammer? What if I could use this as a hammer? What if I could use this instead as a pry bar? It's like you're looking at a screwdriver and you're saying, we've structured this to believe that it is this thing. But what if it is more than that one thing? What if we could take this and turn it into something more, greater? And as you're doing this expansion that's happening for you, where you're at right now, you're expanding into this awareness of, well, it doesn't have to be this way. It's like the Queen of Wands can mean one thing, but what if you looked at it and you said, I think that this means that your divine masculine is turning into a more powerful whole energy within yourself. What if take a breather didn't mean take a break, sit down, breathe, calm yourself down? What if take a breather meant, you know what? I'm going to go to an oxygen bar so that I can increase my oxygen levels, change my body structure and functionability. And I'm going to walk out. And when I take a deep breath of the air outside, it's not going to feel like I am gasping for air. It's going to feel like I'm just breathing. I'm just taking a breather. No big deal. There's a restructuring. It's not necessarily like a complete overhaul of your energy. It's like Tetris or a Rubik's Cube. When a Rubik's Cube is all messed up, we can get kind of chaotic trying to put it back together. And, you know, the people that just can't figure out the mathematical equation for how to shift the blocks and whatever, then you just take off the stickers. What if the Rubik's Cube itself, the colors didn't matter, or the colors were meant to be mixed up and we just keep trying to put them in order, and instead it's just a block. It's a block that has fake colors on the top, but that's not what it is. What is it? What is it? What's the Rubik's Cube to you? So you're taking something and you're restructuring it based off of what it has, what it contains, and you're giving it a new meaning. And it's not relegated to inanimate objects. You're doing that on like a grand scale. It's like your energy when you interact with another person is restructuring their energy. And now I'm seeing Tetris again. And it's like someone misplaced one of the Tetris blocks. So you can't create the line. So you can't do the clearing completely. And so there's that one gaping hole. And you're like, but if I move this here, who says that once the block is down, it can't be moved? So if you just accidentally misplace the block, you just need to shift it over. And it's like your energy is shifting things in other people, and you're creating clearing in doing that. And people walk around and pass by you, and you could just pass them on the street and smile at them. And they get a breather from you. They get that moment of like, relief from you. That's where you're at energetically right now. That's it's like walking through the world and everything is working out for you because you're rearranging everything just by simply walking through the world. I'm actually getting a message for those it resonates with and those who can decipher. A union with the self and the soul has occurred, blended together, woven like the forgotten threadbare rug. You've created something new with it. It's like you created a yoga mat with a threadbare rug, but you're the threadbare rug. Okay, I hope that makes sense. I want to look at how this energy is calling you into expansion. And you got 2 cards for this placement and for the last one, which is more tarot than anyone else, but it also feels like you just have more awareness and more changing. So we have the Death card and the King of Cups. My goodness. So this energy is calling you to allow for the final touches of a transformation of your emotional body, your emotional awareness, your emotional intelligence. I was going to say intelligence, and then the word intensity came through. So when you're working with Cancerian energy is incredibly nurturing, incredibly loving. And also on the opposite end of the spectrum, it can be incredibly vindictive. And I know because I'm a Cancer sun and Mercury and Mars, and I know how I can hypothetically fight dirty if I want to, but I choose not to in my life. I have the emotional intelligence to not fight fire with fire, to not spread pain because I'm in pain. I have that emotional intelligence, and you have that emotional intelligence as well. So there is this energy of allowing for a final retribution of an old emotional cycle, an old emotional wound, one that has made you feel like you are constantly in stormy seas, constantly out of sync. This overhaul, this expansion is helping that last vestige to fall apart. It's helping that one block hit the hole in the line for Tetris so that it can be cleared finally. This energy is calling for a clearing so that you can actually be more grounded in your emotional awareness while in the middle of a hurricane-tossed sea in the middle of the Bermuda Triangle, where everything and anything always tends to happen. And you know that, but you're harnessing the everything and anything finally for your own progress forward, so that you're finally standing in this authoritative energy of everything is subject to change. Everything is. And that includes me and you and the whole world. And so this energy is expanding the everything and the change. But it's not doing it in a way that makes you feel like you're about to capsize. It's doing it in a way that is like you are the anchor. You are the stronghold. You are the lighthouse. You are the point in the storm, in the eye of the storm that says, yes, everything is tossed about around me, but my place is here, my purpose is here, my strength is here, my grounding is here, and this is where I stand. And I can see all of the chaos that is occurring around me, and I can be that strong point in illuminating to others. And now we're right back to the magnifying glass in illuminating to others where the chaos is going and why it's there. Because sometimes when we're in the middle of chaos, we can hear another person, a reader, a guide, we can hear a guru, we can get advice from a family member, and they can be like, everything happens for a reason, or it's this and that, and it won't touch. It won't penetrate that blockage of why is this happening? How is this happening? What is going on? There's too much. I can't handle it. No, you're penetrating that barrier with soft, gentle energy. And you're saying, this is happening because of this. And you're 100% accurate on the reasoning behind it. It's this higher level of awareness, but it's not claircognizance where it normally would be. And with you, I almost feel like claircognizance is just a natural thing for you. But this is a clairsentient understanding from emotional intelligence and emotional experiential awareness. So you've experienced a lot of what other people are going through around you, enough for them to be able to look to you and say, why is this happening? And you can be like, this is happening because A, B, and C occurred. And now X, Y, and Z has to occur in order to get you back to square one, back to the finished Rubik's Cube, back to where all the colors made sense, so that you can actually be the one to take the Rubik's Cube and to mix it all up. That way, you know that the mix up of the colors is one in which you employed. So you get to choose whether you want to try and structure it back to all the colors together, or if you want to choose to let it be the mosaic or the kaleidoscope of colors that it is after you have mixed it up. So instead of people being subjected to chaos for the sake of chaos, they are in a state of chaos for the sake of change and alignment, and then personal power. And you're showing them how each individual moment has led them to the chaos and how the next steps go out of the chaos into the structure and back into them being the ones in the place of power or in the driver's seat of creating the next change. And they get to decide whether that change is going to be chaos. So it's going to enact them having to go back and go through a bunch of steps in order to make the Rubik's Cube whole again, whether they're going to do the change in order for the change of coloration to be what is meant for them, or they can have that Rubik's Cube completely put together and then take all of the colors off and say, I'm starting from absolute square one where it is all uniform, it is all balanced, it is all the same. I'm going to take it, I'm going to breathe through it, and I'm going to project the future that I desire upon this. And so instead of colors, I'm going to put a whole picture on this square. And you're doing this whether in a way, whether you choose to or not, but also in ways in which you're called subconsciously. So you're doing it both for strangers and for the people that you love alike. There is this expansion during this time of a gift within you, a gift. I can only give you the visions that I'm getting to give you analogies, because I don't fully understand it myself. But it's like walking enlightenment. You are walking enlightenment. Enlightenment is no longer a state of being. It is your being. And now I'm being brought back to that message about union of the soul and the self, and this moment of coming together, of blending together, of becoming the threadbare rug that is actually the yoga mat, that is actually stretching you and helping you with a flexibility that you didn't have before. But it's also giving you opportunities to breathe deeper and more profoundly in order to be able to stretch out further, to do more, while simultaneously it feels like you're doing less. I feel equally astounded as well as a little bit confused by this message. But these are the messages that I love the most because they're so abstract and metaphorical that I know the people it reaches, it's going to reach and penetrate exactly as it's meant to. And you're going to go, oh, that makes total sense. And I'm going to be sitting here going, thank God. Because what? But I love this. I love this energy. I love the mystical energies that you guys bring to this channel. So just as a side note, thank you. So let's get your guidance for your next step. Aha, yes. We have the Emperor and the High Priestess. Your guidance for the next step is to pay attention to the next full moon. That is number one, because the Emperor is Aries and the High Priestess is the moon. And we did talk about the full moon in Aries. You guys might want to check the moon cycles and the lunation cycle and find out what day and time in your time zone that full moon is hitting. Actually, I can tell you it's October 14th because that is the start of the eclipse season. Holy crap. Wow. Okay. So the eclipse is going to be an incredibly powerful time. This is about you harnessing the energy of that eclipse and this newfound flexibility and really expanding out into a more profound psychic awareness. There is occult wisdom waking up within you, occult wisdom that has not been seen in this day and age. And it can be scary when something like that happens. Like when you wake up all of a sudden and you're just channeling stuff from another dimension, and you know you're channeling stuff from another dimension, and you're like, okay, I'm going to channel this. I'm going to put this down. And what am I supposed to do with it? It's okay to take a breather on those things. It's okay to get it all out and then be like, okay, I'm going to take a step back. I've done that myself. I literally channeled something that I am still working my way through and still having synchronicities on. that I haven't really tapped too far into since March of 2021. And the first time I shared it with someone else was actually with Colleen recently, because I was like, okay, I finally feel like this is something that I can share with somebody who would understand that I don't really know what it is that I put down here, but I know that it is something that if it came from me, if it came through me, it's something that I'm meant to understand in a amount of time I'm meant to understand it. So this is about surrendering yourself to the wisdom awakening within. This energy, this 29th degree, coupled with the upcoming eclipse season, is a time for you to open your fourth and fifth eyes. If anyone in this pile knows what that means, please, please tell me. I know about the third eye, but your fourth and fifth eyes are opening. And I'm almost seeing them as like on the side of your head above your ear, but internally. And it's like, it's almost like an owl energy to it. You know how an owl can turn its head 270 degrees so it can see behind it just by turning its head. And we can't, as humans, we can't. Like, that's a broken neck, just point blank. We can't see that, but there is that energy. And I just saw 22:22 on the clock, and I did hit record at 2:22. And this happened the last time I did a pile 4. Was the energy of the number 2 is very, very strong here, but it does not feel like you and another person at all in this energy at all. And especially with the High Priestess out, which is the card number 2, this definitely has an energy to it that is very, very strongly focused on the self and the soul, the self and the soul. That is what is being brought forth in very high prominence. 2s and 4s. And I was actually watching a Chloe Taylor video earlier today, and she was talking about the number 4. And my best friend, Rachel, actually asked me recently, what does the number 4 mean? And I gave her just kind of a brief synopsis, but I really, really love Chloe's take on it, with it being a foundational energy. That's the foundational. Yes, I know it's the mundane. It's the everyday work that we do. It's, you know, the house and the home and the job and whatever. I get that. But when she used the word foundation, I got to thinking about the 4s cards, the 4 of Wands, the 4 of Swords, the 4 of Pentacles. You know, those 4 cards. What am I missing? Wands, Pentacle, the 4 of Cups. Yeah, 4 of Cups. Wow. Okay. Sorry, guys. But I got to thinking about the 4s as the foundational point. And my husband is a life path 4. And he really is like home to me. He really is a foundational strong point in our life in so many ways. And it gave it a whole new quality, a whole new feature. Now you have the Emperor card, which is a 4, and the High Priestess, which is a 2. This energy is calling you to the Death card, which is a 13, reduces to a 4. It's changing the foundational premise of things. That's why the anchor came in. You're changing a foundational premise within yourself in order to open this. It's like opening an occult trap door at the foundation. So you have a cellar that is filled with wisdom. It's filled with knowledge. But in order to be able to open the cellar door, for some reason, you have to actually have the foundation structured. So this moon phase, and especially during the eclipse season, that structured foundation will be solidified. And the cellar door, with the descent down into the wisdom and the knowledge and the awareness, is going to open. And the magnifying glass that has been shown on so many others is about to be shown on you. And it's being shown on you by what looks like starseeds and the Council of Light, but also your higher self. And like from the heart of spirit, just being shown down like this light in a square box on the floor. And it's like it opens up and a light comes down. And now I'm seeing like how the Egyptians illuminated into their chambers using mirrors, using scrying mirrors they're using the scrying mirrors to project light to illuminate the chamber. So this is something where all of the projections that other people have placed on you have become mirrors within yourself in order to illuminate this chamber, this cellar of mystery and magic within yourself. During the eclipse season, you're being called to just simply let it open. And I feel this energy of it opening in increments in a variety of different ways. It's like some of it is going to be from interacting with other people. Some of it might be from watching a tarot video. Some of it might actually be from just like scrolling through TikToks, and then suddenly there's something there and you see something and it's like a click. It's there. It's open. For others of you, it's like a meditative state and yoga practice may be called for. There's a variety of different ways it's going to play out, and it's going to play out differently for everyone. And it's doing that specifically because while it is still the same opening, the wisdom that is contained within has to have a specific trigger point. And this trigger point is different for each and every one of us because we had to establish a very unique trigger point so that it can't be duplicated by other people. So for instance, if you're the one that is scrolling through TikTok and you're scrolling through TikTok around October 14th, and all of a sudden you're watching something and everybody else is laughing at this thing, but you're looking at it and suddenly you're transported somewhere else completely. And you're seeing things like the pyramids and the Mayan ruins, and I'm seeing numbers and calculations and sacred geometry and stars and beams and light, like a lot. I'm seeing a lot with that. And literally everybody else is seeing like a dog failing to catch a ball. Yes, that sounds ridiculously specific, but this is one of those moments where the message is so ridiculously specific, yet so very, very broad and generalized because it's so unique to you. So if you're not somebody who has TikTok, obviously this is not meant for you. This isn't a calling for you to go and get TikTok because the TikTok is the trick. It's something very, very mundane that becomes utterly profound. That's why you are in this energy of walking enlightenment. You are the embodiment of enlightenment. You aren't in a state of enlightenment. You are enlightenment. It's the difference between I am working with spirit or I am spirit. I am a vessel for spirit, or I don't even know, like, but whatever it is, it's the magnitude of it is so profound that there are not the right words within my vocabulary to fully explain it. And so I'm going to ask everybody who watches this particular pile, if you have notes on this and you are willing to share, if you don't want to share with everybody else, shoot me an email and I would love to know if you, or just, guys, I really want to know what this is. I'm like, my inner child is like, ooh, this is fun. Ooh, this is magical. Ooh, I'm curious. So you guys have definitely triggered my inner child. So let's get your advice for right now. Oh my God. Change with the I Ching. What were we talking about with chaos and change? Change is everything. Everything has changed until what? Okay. So we have belonging, summon, and invisible. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. This is exactly it. Okay. Oh my God. Okay. So with the belonging, we have the house of night. It's literally like this place that you have been seeking to belong, you now belong at. And then we've got 4, 5, 4s and 5s. And then this is 7. I want to switch this. You're summoning a place where you belong. The place that you're summoning is actually within yourself, but there's a change that has to occur in order for what was once invisible to now become visible. So you're summoning some sort of magic. This energy, especially with the Death and the King of Cups, that summoning energy is going to put you into an Emperor foundational point, and you're going to belong to nothing more or less than yourself. And as you belong to yourself, now your foundation is strong. Now that cellar door is there. And the cellar door, which was once invisible, is part of why you may have felt invisible for durations of time in your life. And also why other people could so easily project onto you. Because there was this wisdom, this occult knowledge within you that needed to stay hidden. So in order for it to stay hidden, you had to take on the projections of others because they could not see the truth of you until the right changes astrologically, energetically, emotionally, mentally, physically had occurred within your energy and along your path. And now that which was once invisible is no longer. We have spirit guide. And from this, I'm literally getting, I get this like comment, like it's like common knowledge at this point. You're a spirit guide to other people, but it's more than that. It's like your guiding spirit right now. This is crazy. And I'm just going to say it because I've never channeled anything like this before. What I'm getting is the divine creator spirit put something into your soul when created. Your ancient soul was created with a specific coding system. That coding system, the coding system needs to be awoken because you need to guide that information back to source. Holy crap, you guys. I don't want to, I like, part of me is like, what are you? Because you're definitely not human, which is really freaking cool. Like, please trust me when I'm like, this is so cool. I don't know what this energy is, but this is insane and amazing. And I love it. And oh my gosh, I'm going to end up fangirling over your energy. I did that once before. Your guys' energy is so cool. Okay. This is your final one. I'm going to just read this and then we're going to cut this off because I feel like I can feel an energetic blockade of that was what you needed to know. Now you need to go. And I've never felt that way before. So, and I just saw 3333. You guys have a lot of angels around you, a lot of angelic presence, a lot of divine and celestial energy. This is off the charts. It says manifesting is the creative process of aligning with the energy of the universe to co-create an experience that elevates my spirit and the spirit of the world. I'm done. I am done. Pile 4. You guys have a fan. I am your fan. I'm totally like, I'm your cheerleader. Do this, whatever this is, whatever it is that you guys know, whatever it is that you contain within yourself, whatever it is, like you guys are freaking amazing. Thank you for existing. Thank you for choosing this incarnation. Thank you for choosing this day and age because this day and age needs you. Like bad. And I'm honored beyond belief that you guys are here. So thank you. Thank you so much to Colleen for this amazing collaboration, these amazing energies. Thank you. And thank you to your guides, my guides, the Great Spirit for connecting these energies, for facilitating the messages, for flowing it through, for all of the ways that it came through, from the clairvoyance to the claircognizance to the sentience to all of it. Thank you so much. And pile 4, thank you. Thank you for existing. Thank you for surviving. Thank you for thriving. Thank you for being an anchor and a lighthouse. Thank you for being you. Thank you. From my heart to yours, I truly appreciate everything that you are. If this resonated, please, throw me some love. Like the video, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, hit that notification bell. Don't forget to comment in the comment section below. I want to know who you are. I want to interact with you. I'm a fan. And check my description box for the link to Colleen's reading, as well as check the description box for links to donate to my channel. I love you guys so, so much. Thank you again. I will see you next time. Bye.